Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of what is it, Tran?
The Threadlings.
So- Don't sound too excited. Tran is just super tired because we were up super late. Hey, hello, happy Threadling Day. So yes, very happy Threadling Day.
Yeah, I was up very late
Yeah,
last night. So,
that doesn't mean we're not excited. We're just tired.
that's how it goes.
And my schedule is completely in vampire mode, like 100%.
Yeah, we've gone into vampire mode, which is
Yeah.
not the best mode.
Yes.
So, uh okay, what I'm doing at the moment is I'm trying to place this temp crowd. They're all duplicates of just Zort, which is not going to be Zort at the end, but he's the character I have in here. And I just wanted to get a feel for the scene. So, a couple streams ago, I was blocking out like this set, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. So it's not lit, so the lighting is dark, um, and we do want it to be dark.
Yeah.
But let me show you the space.
That's super cool.
Yeah, let me kill this. This is not actually a light I want in here. It's like a work light, so I can see what's going on. But so that's the stage. This is like a scene where we first meet Sword, and he is doing basically like a presentation of some sort.
Yeah, we've played it before.
Yeah.
I always love looking at it though. It's so funny. So yeah, so there's gonna be like a giant moth that comes out of that tunnel, but it's like a fake moth. It's like a simulation, like
Yeah.
the danger room kind of.
Yeah. And then this is like a block out the crowd size. So if you guys were there and you remember what one of the things that was important to us in this set was that we have a crowd, but that the crowd size like remains like very small because we don't want to deal with thousands of extras because that would just be like gigantic files and very much unmanageable. Like once these guys here, they'll become like Alembic files with animation. This scene will move really slow. So right now it's like fine, and it runs Unreal awesome. But once they have like some kind of cache information, it won't be like this.
Mhm.
And then the other thing, like if anyone remembers, it's wanted this space to feel really grand. So I think it does feel pretty grand. It like feels really big.
Yeah.
But then the actual like floor plan is like really small. Right. So I can see like, there could be another row, but none of this crowd size is not like impossible. And we'll look at Zort's POV. And my lens is like super wide right now. Um, it won't be this wide for the actual frames, but it allows me to see the set. So it looks pretty cool. I'll also like just kill this light. So the set has to be dark, so it feels like a theater, and it won't have this light here. We'll have like little lights, lighting this much nicer. But that takes a little bit of time. I just want everyone to kind of see like this effect, which is kind of cool, and it needs to be pretty dark. I don't know. What do you think of this?
I think it looks really cool.
Um, and I just have like a random light over here. Let's see if I can change this color. I'm going for like pretty reddish lights. So this is like the stained glass used to be more blue, but since it's like Zort's theme, I think it would be very cool if it's, red in this case.
So I don't know how we're on Diablo 4 category. Um,
Yeah, I don't know. We don't.
yeah, I don't even know if I have a way to change it. I have to talk to them about that. But this has as much to do with Diablo 4 as it does with Russian ballet. Probably Russian ballet has more to do with it, and
Yeah,
yeah, there's like nothing to do with Diablo 4. So this is just a movie we're making, like an animated film, and we're just documenting the process of it.
yeah, we're in some kind of wrong channel for the stream.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry for your disappointment.
So we're just making this movie in Unreal, and somehow we're in Diablo 4.
Yeah,
I've never even played Diablo 4. Is it fun?
I don't know. When I was a kid, I did play like, I think it was Diablo 2 back then.
Like, what is it? You're just running around shooting people?
Yeah, it's like you could be a sorcerer, a barbarian. It's like very fantasy. And for me, it was fun back then because it was like the only thing I've seen like that was like that. But anyway, so something like this. Let's see the comments if there's anything. Very majestic opera house. Thanks.
Yeah, it is. It is very much. It feels like an opera house now, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, which is what we're like going for, I guess. Like, it wouldn't be like a modern theater because there's no screen, but I guess an opera house is like the original theater. There's still some gaps here. So this took me, some time. I was able to re-kit bash like things already built. Let me put like another light here because it's so dark, just so everyone can see. So some of these merge fine. Um, what I was doing, yes, uh, well, what I've been doing is basically just reassembling pieces. So some pieces like this section didn't exist like this before. They're not totally brand new, but basically, I modularized them and kind of built like this kind of hallway where there's this door, and then every single one of these are like that, which is kind of cool. Like it gives it some depth so you don't see just just a door right away. Now you have like a small little path. And I could build curtains. I do need like some kind of floor up here. And I do need like nicer lighting. So you can just see the set. And then, this has to remain pretty dim.
So we're just building the sets right now. So we haven't set up the shots for this sequence yet. We have for some of the other sequences.
Let me grab these here. Their attenuation is like too big. And let's just give it.
So what have we been up to, Tran?
Oh, we've been on this. Hold on. Let's bring this down a little bit more dim. Anyway, this is not lit well. Now, what I want to do, I mean, I kind of like his stage. It's like red. Oops. It's kind of freezing. Sorry if it's stuttery. Um, I do like how this stage looks. So this is like rebashed from his bed. So that's actually Zort's bed. And it's dark, so you can't really tell. It's perfectly circular. There's a lot of artifacts right now. Okay, that looks better. And again, the moth will just come out from this tunnel, and then he'll be lit, like he'll start off backlit. He's gonna do a whole, there's gonna be a whole stage lighting effect here, which makes it corny. But now what I want to do is kind of fill in or create new pieces that fixes like certain problems. So if you look over here where I bash these two guys together, they're just kind of crossing over each other like this. So I want to hide, I don't know, maybe people might not notice it, but I do. if I just want to hide that. There's like a hole right here too, and an intersection here. And it's the same up here because it's duplicated, and you kind of see like it's really messy here. So I'm not sure what to do to hide it. I was thinking of like a banner of some sort. But what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to grab these pieces and just export them into Maya because, you know, I just don't use this program to model at all. And then now that I'm thinking about how to do this, my brain just farted out. Let's see. Let's merge these. I don't need the high res. Let's do pivot point at 0. I need them to show up in the same spot in Maya. So I'm going to check on pivot point at 0. And then we'll just drop it here into this folder. And this mesh will look very low, like this, which is fine because that's actually ideal for me. It won't be too high in Maya because Maya can't handle all this.
Who modeled the scene? Tran modeled it. That's why she's the one doing the presentation.
Yeah, I'm the environment person. So, the texturing is like a group of people, including myself, group of artists. Let's export this.
All right, let's see.
Um, I'll just call it this. Okay, so that should export really fast. And we'll drop that in here. Again, it will be very low resolution. It always comes out low when it's nanite. And I think what it exports is the fallback mesh. Which is like 12,000. I'm not sure how you show just the fallback mesh, but if you wanted to increase it, like if you want it to be really high res, you can try turning off nanite. Let's hide that or just delete that. It always, I forgot to uncheck this, but it's fine. It's a collision. And again, you can see it's like very low. Okay. This is what we also export to animation so that they know what to work with. I exported this mesh at this level, which you see is really crappy for the entire like hallway and the other set. And it's like still millions of polys at this resolution because the set is so big. I don't know. Do you have ideas like how this should be blocked out? I mean, it's kind of so crappy looking now. Like you can't even tell what's wrong with it.
Did you all do the certificate program? I did the certificate program. Tran just did a few classes.
Yeah. But what do you think? Like, so basically in this section is where um, it's colliding and there's this hole. So this section, like, should it just be a banner or do you have better
Yeah,
ideas?
just put a banner.
But what should the banner be? Could it be shaped like this?
Yeah.
I don't know. You always
Or
come up,
it could be, I would make it look more like a shard, right? Because it's a whole crystal thing.
oh, like a triangle.
Yeah.
I guess that would look cool. And it's going to be curved. Um,
Yeah. When building this set, how do you manage not to overbuild beyond what the camera will see?
oh, you want to overbuild.
We do overbuild.
Yeah. So like,
You're smart to ask that, but we're not that smart.
I, I don't, I don't think it's dumb to overbuild because it pays off.
Yeah.
Um, like for me, my philosophy is like anything that you did a half-assed job on is going to show up really center in the shot. it's,
Yeah.
it's like Murphy's law, where if anything that goes wrong will go wrong at the worst possible moment. But for like sets and 3D, like that thing that you built, that you think that no one will see and it will never show up on screen, ends up being the thing that you see the most and looks bad. Um, that's kind of always happened professionally on everything that I've worked on. So I just let things be what they are. Okay, so I can't bring this into Marvelous um, because it will freak out at a mesh like this. So I think I'll have to do a couple of things. I want to keep this like here and let's just isolate this. So I'm just duplicating that and then figuring out, I'm just gonna delete stuff I don't need. I'm just double clicking and deleting whatever is attached. Okay. All right. So that's more manageable. This is also too big for Marvelous.
It doesn't like things that size, huh?
Nope. It will kind of implode. I also want to, okay, I'm going to group this because I want to be able to find its origin again. What is this rotation? I guess it's 25. It's a very weird rotation. So when I build sets, I tend to be like very precise. Like I don't do like, oh, 23.2 degrees or whatever, or point like 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, no, it's always going to be like very numbers that are easy to find again. That's somewhat in the center. Okay. So I should be able to find that again. And then let's move this here. Let's also change the scale. I'm trying not to change the pivot intentionally. I actually don't know what the scale should be. So I'll hide this mesh here and I'll bring in like just a scale reference. If it's too large, it'll just crap out.
Path tracer is always superior in every way to Lumen. It's just it is much slower.
Yeah, you just get back into like rendering again.
Yeah.
Long render times and I mean they're not I think it's, like I've seen people get really good results, but yeah.
Yeah, but it is not close. One is superior.
I mean, I guess I can construct it at this size. And I should be able to bring this mesh. I just can't let it touch this mesh because so this will be imported okay, but I think if if the cloth like rests on this, it will just freak out because this mesh looks like this, and I don't think it knows what to do with it. So I'm gonna do like a very simple block out. I look at it, it's really not a sphere at all. Okay. Yeah, so I guess there's like preparation before I send this into Marvelous. Um, this kind of preparation stuff, if you don't do it, you pay for it later. So a lot of people wouldn't want to spend time doing this mesh that I'm doing, but I don't think it takes a lot of time. And like I like taking shortcuts if I can, but there's some shortcuts that I know that fire back at you later, and this is one of them. Okay. Okay, it's colliding a little bit. Um, give it some room. I'd rather have it float off the thing just a bit. Um, I think you answered this. The lumen is good enough quality to use for a movie. Yeah, it is. I think it's
It requires more
more work.
more work.
It's harder. It's not as easy. Like if you know, use something like Arnold or V-Ray, lighting is easier. Everything looks nicer. So part of the reason why we ended up going with a more like animated style, like if you were to see like Voice in the Hollow, um, the look of it is like to embrace Lumen, right? So and these characters are like clothy guys, which they're harder to do. But what we're not doing is like skin, and that's on purpose. Like I don't think if you try to compete um, making the skin look real, I don't think that it's comparable yet. Yeah, but I have a lot of faith in Unreal. Like everything always is so amazing. It always looks incredible. Just like how much they advance. I didn't ever think you can do this type of work in Unreal Engine before.
Yeah.
But of course, I don't think that way anymore. Okay, let's block this out. I think that's fine. Let's throw this here so I don't keep touching it. And I do want to smooth this. So if you like this, you know, for anyone that's new to the stream, all the environments are made in Marvelous. Like everything is cloth. I mean, just so you can kind of see, it's all cloth. So all the buildings are made out of cloth. Um, Liz textured this whole section like by herself. I modeled this in all Marvelous and did the UVs and everything. But you can see it's all quilted. There's some funky artifacts like black spots they are showing up, but it's all fabric. If you're looking at far away, you know, forget that it's all fabric. So that's why it's all going back to Marvelous. Okay, I think this is okay for a block out. And the ideal thing is not to touch these things. They look like they're cutting through, but when you get close, they're fine. Let's build the negative side. Okay. And let's delete history here. I'm going to minimize this to make sure it's like minimized. One thing I like about Unreal a lot is it's so amazingly efficient when you minimize its screen. I mean, it's still, I think it still takes up resources, but not as much, right? Like it really reduces the resources on your computer. And I've never seen that from any other program like that. It's most programs will just hog the resource, even if they're minimized. I mean, if they are not, I can't tell because it still feels very slow. That's the wrong mesh. Block out body. This will be block out top. I think I need to smooth this one more time. I think it's too low. If it's too low, the cloth will fall like right through it. It will just slide right through it. I did not merge the center. Okay, that should be merged now. Let's merge these. And let's smooth it one more time. Like that's how dense I want. I don't need these loops to be this tight. Okay. That should be dense enough. Let's export that again. And I'll launch Marvelous. Let's see, there's a question here. Hello, guys. Sorry, I have not a common question for you. May you please tell me how much you can have a lead 3Rs member and team?
I didn't understand the question.
Yeah. Like how can you have, how many what I mean is a number of people is standard to do your own work as lead artist and give feedback to others. Yeah, I don't understand that question really. Um, if you're like asking, how many lead artists you can have, I don't know. Um, for your own project, you just need yourself,
Yeah.
and you just have to work with what you have. So if you have a friend that is as passionate as you could work together. But it's not always easy to work um, on independent projects in a team either. So it's very easy for people to drop off. I mean, like just lose interest if you decide to go do indie projects. You want to team up with someone that has the same commitment level,
Hmm.
and that,
Which no one is gonna have the same commitment level
well, I have the same commitment level as you.
because it's our project.
Yeah, but it's also the other person's project too. But it's really hard for people to have the same commitment level. Okay, so now I have this in here. Let me just save this. It's very difficult to find people that have the same commitment level as you. Okay. Now I want to hang this on here. Since I have this mesh, I could attach it to this mesh. The way I go about it is kind of weird. Maybe I might have to delete this one. Hold on. This is not changing. I think there's something with the program acting weird.
No, we got it. It just took us a little bit longer to understand, but you did fine. You did better than I would if I was speaking a language I didn't know very well.
I think it's just we're not sure how to even like how to answer that question because it's doesn't really have a set answer. Okay, so on top of this mesh, I want to generate uh, a piece of cloth that is not intended to move. So that it can hang on it and fit this more precisely. So I'm just tracing this mesh. That's probably big enough. But you know what? I might as well just build it across. This is like a pain. Let's do it like this. So I'm going to take a quick shortcut. I'm going to duplicate this mesh. And I'm going to delete sections of it. I don't want to build the top floor because I don't think we'll see it. Although I feel like because I didn't build this section in the scene, like if you look at the top, it just has nothing. It's going to be seen. Like there will be a shot where I'm just looking right at it at the floor. I have to fill in these gaps. So I kind of stopping to think about, what can I do? maybe that's just kind of easy while I'm here. Okay. So I'm kind of deviating a little bit because I feel like I should just um, construct the top. So I'll just bounce back. And I'm going to grab all of this and bring this into Maya at a low res version, just so I know how to construct on top of this. Did I grab everything? I think so. Oop, make that slow. I'll just make sure this is on. I don't need light map UV. And you just seeing me work like real time. Like I am actually just working and kind of talking. That's how this is. So none of this is like really planned.
This is a funny question. How do you overcome burnout working on such big scale long term projects though? Or does having a nice team member and nice work environment actually help with it? Or do you just do the job and bury the feelings away?
You
No.
just do the job very.
Yeah, but we are
Yeah.
very burnt out.
Yeah, we're tired. There's you know, we can't deny it. Sorry. Okay, I forgot where I put my other one. Let's organize this before this blows up in my face. Um, that's just endurance, man. Like it's just you have this dream and you just want to do this dream. And that's what this means. Uh okay. I don't think you can avoid it. It's just like one of those things you start and you really want to do. That's why like if you have a team, it's like what I was saying is like you want to make sure everyone has the same commitment level. It really just has to and the reason why I say that is it has to do with just that. Like people will get burned out and tired.
Uh we don't have a lot of artists on this thing.
No. It's driven mostly Miguel and I. And the help that we do have is definitely animation because we don't animate. And then we've had oh, some like a team like helping us with some pieces. And they're great, but it's not a lot of people, no matter how awesome the team is, because this is our project. So we have the biggest commitment level to it. So I'm going to call this original position. And I'll just delete this layer. Okay, now this is much more organized. So here, this is all like placed in the center, just so I know where to construct things. And that's why this position is strange. This is the original mesh. And then the ideal thing is once I finish building this, I just zero this out. It snaps back where it needs to be. And it's not in the middle. Like that's just how this layout is. It's off to the side. I don't want to build like that because if you build like off center and marvelous, it will just be a disaster. You'll have a hard time. just as a way to abbreviate what I'm trying to say. Now here, let's just save this because this took work. Um, okay. Well, I mean, if coming back to that question, like how many people on average, how many people does one lead artist have under command? That there's no like.
I already answered that.
Oh, you did. There's no number.
I already put that up on the screen and everything.
Mhm. If you're doing your own project, you are doing like everything. Okay, so I can just focus on this. I do want to build some kind of flooring up here, but I'll take this in like a couple of stages. So what that means is I'll take this whole piece. I do want it to fold back. So I'll grab this edge loop here and I'll build it in a couple pieces. Let's detach that. And I'll let it hang over by this much. I'll just get rid of the sides. And let's do that over here. So this is all just set up for me to work in Marvelous cleanly. And Marvelous is one of those programs that you just don't want to kind of be lazy on the step because it doesn't work out. Okay, so now I have these two strips. Let's throw this in like, let's give it an actual name. I'll call this rotunda flag. Right now, my names are a mess right now. So this is my attempt to start organizing this. Okay. So I don't want to draw on this mesh anymore because it sucks. I'm going to import those strips. which I don't know where it is. Okay, that's here. So I have to start coloring this a little. And this is right on top, so I can't, I can't select it. Okay. That's not one of the things about Marvelous. It's not, I feel like it's not all the way there yet sometimes. It should be like, you should be able to select the crap underneath it. I want to scale it up a little bit larger. Hopefully this allows me to have selection, just so it's clear that it's on top. Like I'm not sure how to select that thing underneath. Or even how to hide it. Like I can't hide this mesh. Okay, so you guys can see my problem. This is frustrating. Okay, so I have this piece here. Okay, so now that it's on top, I can do stuff. Let's just color that. And let's pull the top. And let's color this too, so I can see it. What I want to do with this is I'm going to convert this to cloth. Hopefully this works. I updated Marvelous. This version is weird, and I have regrets. It has problems. So these just convert it into pieces of fabric. So that's why I extracted them, because you can convert them into fabric. And why I convert it is so that I can sew things. So now I can sew on top of these. Otherwise, like you just try and put cloth in it and it will just slide off everywhere all the time. And I will freeze these. So this is where there's like a bug where when you freeze these, they still move. I'm not sure what to do about that other than maybe try to update or something. Right now, I'll try importing the other part of the mesh. And hopefully there's no problems. Let's tint this a little bit. Okay. I'm finally ready to start. Okay, so I just want to build half. That's the ideal thing. So let's just see where my half is. Okay, that's just so I know. This one I can tell. And I'm making a point to be very precise. And then I want it to go from that point here to cover this crappy thing here. So the flag is going to be like that wide. And I'm just going to copy the shape. Oh, that sucks. So I didn't orient this correct. It's okay. So what happened is I'm basically not facing the camera correctly. It will just be a little bit crooked or a little bit more pain in the butt to mirror. And I just want this to be straight. Getting straight lines in here sometimes that are like 90 degrees snap is really tough. There's snapping features, but they need like an overhaul on that. It's actually not. It should be a very simple task, but it's not. Like I don't think this is a straight line. Does it matter? It does. It's just more precise. And I use, just mirroring stuff. So I have to do this. Put it on that grid. It doesn't cover all that. Let's just mirror this over. And this is what I mean. Like, so my orientation is wrong in space. I think I want to fix that because I just don't want to deal with this.
What's up, Bobby? How are you?
Okay, that's correct. All right. Okay, so I just want to test so I can get it back into its original space.
So good preparation in the beginning, like a block out. What you've done is 90% of the result. Yes.
Well, it influences 90% of the result. And then I'm trying to just keep everything, clean. I could work like with what I have, but it's gonna actually slow me down. I'm gonna lose a lot of time. And I just don't want to do it like that for the stream. Like I'm just gonna make this work for myself and the actual project. Because sometimes when I do stuff for the stream, I just go, oh, I'll just keep going with it, and I just end up redoing everything again, and I get very frustrated. Okay, so now we're oriented correctly. It's just, Marvelous is more rigid. You gotta conform to it. It will not bend to you. That's like, I do tutor students in this. It's kind of the first thing I say. And I'm like, it is not going to do what you want. You have to do what it wants. And so I have to change my axis and all that just so this will perform better. Let's convert these to cloth. And let's freeze these. Let's make sure I have my center. The only way I know where the center is usually look in the wireframe, but that's pretty close. And let's freeze these. Let's hope these don't move. So normally when you freeze stuff in Marvelous, it's not supposed to move. So what I notice is when I freeze the mesh, it still gets deformed. And I think it has to do with a new feature where it's called partial freeze, where you can partially freeze parts of your mesh. But it's like making a mess for me. Okay. Let's not make this pink. And I'll save this again. Okay. So I know I want it to be about this wide. I'll just use a pen tool. This is not a Marvelous program tool.
That's Epic Pen, which is one of the most annoying programs. It's like really awesome, and all they want to do is sell you the new update, right? Like all the time.
Yeah.
You could buy the program, the latest version, right now in 2 minutes. They're already trying to sell you a new version.
Yeah, I just want this to be 90 degrees, but whatever. Okay, so that's my mesh. You can see I don't have to rotate it. It's like showing up correct. I want to mirror this. And now it also shows up correct. And that's what I didn't want to deal with. I can see it doesn't cover this thing. This I'm going to pick a color so I can see. I don't know if triangle is like, let me think about it. So it's going to go over here. This light throws me off. Let's put it back here. And it's just to hide the bad mesh. You know, do I want to see, you know, when I look out here, I'm just thinking like in this reverse angle, what shape I want this to be. I mean, it does work as a triangle, but maybe it should break it because that's, I can't draw in Unreal. You know, do I want that pattern? See what I mean? Um, this set up here is very Art Nouveau in its aesthetic. And that was like it was actually part of a first set that I built. And the Art Nouveau style was like probably not what we wanted to do. It was cool, but it's the only set that looks like that. And the rest of this is more like Gothic inspired. I don't know. It should be pretty simple. Maybe it should be curved. It will hide more. And then I could put a diamond motif in it. I could also not just make it one piece, be a little bit fancier and be like, okay, maybe this is a triangle and build like two pieces here. It gives it more breakup because one big piece is not, it doesn't give it scale. It just looks like a big ass piece versus something like this. A small triangle, which echoes this shape here, and then it hides that hole here. These are the ends here that look like crap. So it could be, this is exactly how I work, but I'm usually not talking out loud. Trying like this. No, that looks like high school. Looks like a school.
Yeah, like a football.
Yeah,
Those flags.
that's why I just want to do it here. I don't want to work this out on Mars and be like, oh, that looks like crap. So 3 triangles is bad. You know, I kind of want to curve it because there's a lot of curves. That's why I don't want to do a straight flag. But
So do that.
curve, curve, curve. And then I could put a diamond in here. Like thinking so much about it. Okay, like, and then break up in here. That doesn't look like high school football, whatever. Thanks, Bobby. Yeah, a lot of environments it's ended up being made in Marvelous. It was not be honest, I wasn't thinking about that at all in the beginning. Like I was like, I don't know. We just will make the clothing in Marvelous. Um it just ended up that way. I don't know why it says points are too close together. So this one here could be has to do with this curve lines. Okay, so that's enough to fix that. So that's one shape. And again, I can just curve this here, but before doing that, let's just try sewing it and let's see how it drapes. Let's sew this to this. Let's free sew.
That works.
So that does hide that shape. I'm going to change this. I like how thin the cloth looks, but let's go to fabric settings. I'm trying to rename this. There we are. I'm going to change this to something firm so it will perform faster. So right now, this is a really massive piece of cloth, which makes it sim slower. So if you have something too big, this is a little big, it will just be slow. But I can reduce the resolution. And this cloth here that I changed to has a setting of full, like trim full grain leather. It's just one of the most firmest piece. And it's easier to manage when you're blocking in. Now let's create like the next one over. I guess it should have like a gap. So I'm just gonna kind of mark, let's kill the simulation. Just gonna mark this here so I know. And just make this next piece like this big. I'm not sure if this is 90 degrees. Okay. It allows me to snap it, but not really. And I'll curve this a little. For now, I'm going to position it right underneath like this. And I'll free sew it. So Marbles has snapping features, but it's kind of shitty. It's one of those things I hope they upgrade. Now, the other thing I'm finding here is I'm kind of having to sew both sides, which sucks. This is also backwards or way too high. So I like to use mirroring, but these meshes are not mirrored. So I'm going to try to mirror it. Hopefully don't break it. They are pieces of cloth that I'm basically using as if they're mesh, but they're cloth so that I can sew onto them because you can't sew onto a mesh. Okay, so that mirrored pretty well. Now what that means is when I want to mirror this side, I don't have to resew it. Like that one, you can see it's over there. So the mesh is too high resolution. I'm going to increase or decrease the resolution so you can see the density. It's very slow. And I'm just increasing the particle distance, which decrease this resolution. And we just sew these together. Okay, so now I'm starting to have this. And I can reshape it. I'm cool with how, you know, the distance up here. I don't like the shape and the length. Like this is not long enough. I'm also going to move this off to the side. And this will drape better when it's not this cloth property. I don't know. What do you think of the shape?
I think it looks fine.
Yeah, I think about it like maybe too much. I think I want to do this. So it's like a
Oh, that's cool.
triangle, triangle. Does it cover this hole? This hole I'm talking about is like this. You can't tell because the mesh is a disaster. But I know that's what I want to cover up. This one up here is easy because it has a contact. This one's floating, so you'll see like problems still. Okay, let's line this back up here because I want to extend this and I don't know where it's connected. So I go to my sewing to find it. I'll just draw on top of it and then I can snap this back. Um, hmm. So I'm still seeing this crap. Does it matter? Does anyone know? I don't want to close that gap. And I don't know if that should be thinner. I think it's okay. If we have a shot like this, I'll handle it. I don't think we'll have a shot like that, but now that I said it, it's probably gonna happen. So you can see like what I mean. Let's look at how it looks in Unreal. It is gonna be dark. It's also very slow now because of so many applications running. Let's turn this light back on. So you can see like that's the exposed part. It doesn't look that bad, does it? Like it's so busy, maybe no one will know. That's what I'm thinking. But I like the shape. That's why I don't want to change it. Okay. Okay, so let's say I like the shape. It's all good. The angle feels good. Maybe this could be a little lower, so this angle is more parallel. Um, Once I move forward from here, it's not going to be easy for me to change the shape. That's why I'm noodling this super hard. That's what I call it when I fuss. I call it noodling. All right, I'm done noodling. Okay, so now what I want to do is do some pattern. Um, I also want to give it a feeling like with the thickness, um, and give it like some kind of seam around it. Um, I don't want it just to start up here. So I'll bring this back up to kind of snap these. I think these are underneath. So I'll bring this to the front. And what I want to construct now is this top hang. Like, do I need to do that? Does this work like this? What do you think, Miguel? Should I do like a piece that sews over? Or can I just hang it like that?
You could just hang it like that. You're never gonna see that.
Yeah, okay. It makes my life easier because that's a small detail that sucks. I did build the mesh for it.
Daria says I said noodling in the chat with my manager and he laughed at me. So your
What?
Tran words are getting people to laugh at her.
Yeah, noodle. It is noodling. You're just fussing.
Noodling.
Where did I come up with that word?
You've been using that word forever.
I know. Like, I feel like you're just playing with noodles, right? Like, I feel it gives you that visual.
Who the hell plays with noodles?
I did as a kid. Didn't anyone play with food when they're little?
Now, not with noodles.
Well, because you didn't probably eat enough noodles.
There's no. We didn't have noodles. We had we had pasta. What is noodles?
Noodles is Asian.
I know. I did used to put ketchup on. What? Not used to. I still would put it on pasta. I didn't know you weren't supposed to put ketchup on pasta until I was in my 20s.
And everyone was just like grossed out.
Everyone was grossed out, but that's how we grew up. We didn't have a lot of money. My mom would put ketchup as the tomato sauce, and I thought it was the most delicious thing in the entire world.
You know, she denies it today.
She denies it, but you know what? There was this the Carlo from Spy is Italian. He's all about like Italian food. I told him about the ketchup, and he thought it was blasphemy, but he told me he put ketchup on his pasta one time, and he was like, you know what? It's actually very good.
I picked that up from Miguel. I do put ketchup in my pasta, and I'll do it in a restaurant, and I'll look around before anyone sees me, and I'll put it put it on.
It's the best.
You know what it is? Like spaghetti, like marinara, tends to be like very sour, kind of like yeah. It's tomato based, so it has a sour taste, and then the ketchup like kind of sweetens it.
It's the best. Try it out, and you'll see. Everyone will be
I like
converted.
my pasta sauce like not like really sweet like that, but just a very subtle, slightly sweeter flavor, and that's what the ketchup does.
Yep.
That bug is like
Ketchup on pasta. Try it and see.
okay. So that's one pattern I want in my cloth. Um, this is like Art Nouveau. Let's come back here. Let's see if I'm inspired by like shapes here. It's super Art Nouveau. The camera is like really, really wide. Um, this is like a crazy wide camera. Let me close that marvelous window. So I don't know. I don't know if aesthetically I'm inspired by this. It's not very curved. No. I'm just gonna make up stuff now. I feel like it should be angular. And I'm doing these long rays as if it's the sun, like it's a crystal. And there's beams um, radiating from the crystal. Do I want this line to connect here? I guess it's clean. Or the crystal will read better if it doesn't. So in this world, like these threadlings idolize Zort because he was born from a red crystal. All threadlings are born from a crystal. And Zort, but everyone's crystal is blue. For those who don't know, if you've been following the stream, you know this, but Zort's the only one that's red. So these would be, if you look at the most of our set, there's accents of red. They're kind of more beige. Now I'm just going to play with this pattern. So these are like sun rays. At least that's the feeling. And then the crystal, let's break this up. So now that feels kind of like a crystal. I don't think it's the right cut. The cut should be
Netbug says everyone in his high school used to eat rice mixed with ketchup and mayonnaise. That's pretty gross. You see, that's gross.
rice mixed with ketchup. Yeah, we were desperate.
That's pretty gnarly with mayo.
Well, he seems to acknowledge that it's gross.
Yeah, yeah. You know what though? If it's the type of food you grew up eating,
It becomes like
it becomes
ingrained.
amazing. Yeah.
It becomes ingrained in you. Like you just.
I freaking love me ketchup in pasta. I don't care.
I'm actually looking at reference. Hold on.
So he says she used to eat ketchup with rice too.
Everyone's confessing. You know what I like? I don't like American mayo. I like Japanese mayo. Japanese mayonnaise is different. I don't know how to describe it because I just don't know. But I think it tastes better. Hold on one second. I'm trying to figure out the shape that this thing should be, and I'm trying to do it from memory because I don't like these shapes. So I'm just gonna look at a crystal. This is straight here. This cut goes like this, and then it cuts up here. It's like a crystal cut. And these lines, I wanted to feel authentic. Let's snap this here. Okay, you see that looks like a cut now. I could do this, but I don't like it. So I'll just leave this like that. And I'm not sure how complex to make this stuff. So, you know, this stuff has a lot of complexity. So aside from this being made all just fabric and being textured, there's a lot of resolution on these textures. So you can be like really close to it. So this is like going back to that question, like an overbuilding. There's no such thing. It doesn't take that much more time, I think. You're talking about a little bit more time to make something higher fidelity. And then it won't break in the shot. Like the worst thing to do is like to rebuild something per shot because you half-assed it initially. So a lot of these things, when I do these curves, I break it up like this. I don't know if I want to do that because I might lose the sun ray. I'll just try. Let's see what I get. I mean, that works. It gives it scale. The more I break this up, the
Oh yeah, absolutely.
harder it is to texture.
The harder it is to texture.
Yeah, because then you have to stitch it. Miguel's bored.
Not bored. I stayed up all night working on some stuff for the Voice in the Hollow movie.
I was working on this. I don't know if this should have that kind of repeating pattern. Let's just see how it looks. But I don't feel it instinctively. Do I? Kind of works. They feel like wings now, kind of. The other thing to do instead of this is make this more dense.
Half the audience yawned after hearing that. Yeah, sorry, we're like the lamest guest, not guest hosts ever. We like yawn. We're low energy. We're pretty lame.
Yeah.
Sound excited, and we're like, ugh. We are excited. We're just working too much.
Well, this gives you an idea. It's like if you're thinking of I don't know, anyone who's thinking of like doing their own projects. I think all artists are always thinking of doing a project though. Like we all want to make something that is your own.
Yeah.
I think all artists want to. You don't think so?
Hmm.
It's just some people don't want to say it, or some people openly express it. Like I think we have friends that have secret projects they don't tell us about.
You think so? I think, yeah, I guess so, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
most of everyone doesn't want to talk about it. Like when we started doing the stream, we were like, I don't know, this is kind of funny to talk about. We just gotten used to talking more openly about it. But normally I would be like, no. What do you think of this pattern?
Were you working on the script for The Voice in the Hollow? No, we were working on some concept art for the pitch.
Yeah, this pitch is a lot of work.
Yeah, so it's like what is it? It's not a pitch, but it is a pitch. It's more like going through the whole story but showing a bunch of visuals to go with the script. And it's very detailed script, and it's a very detailed art that we've done, like a lot of it.
What do you think of this pattern? Do you like these like straight lines?
Yeah, it looks really pretty.
Okay. What do I do with this here? So I don't know. See. Let's save this. Let's see what happens if I extend that motif. I don't. I'm not enjoy doing these things. So when I get to do stuff like this in Marvelous, once the setup is done and I'm at this stage like this is actually fun because I do enjoy patterns. Like I enjoy making patterns and designing patterns.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep trying. I don't know if this is working yet. I have to be careful not to make this overly busy.
I'm seeing arcane designs everywhere after the second season.
Arcane designs, like meaning in other,
Probably everyone is promoting the artwork from season 2.
yeah.
Daria's asking, how do you develop a pattern designing skill? Did that come naturally or you worked on that? Trent's always been amazing at doing patterns.
Um,
You've always been really good at that.
I think it's for me, it's just intuition. And then the more you practice anything, you just get better at it. But it's all, I don't know, I'm not trained.
Yeah, but you've always been really good at patterns.
I don't know about this. These curves. What do you think?
I think they're cool.
No, like you don't think that's busy? Does it look better? Let me select
I
all.
think I don't think busy is a bad thing. Yeah, we know we're on the Diablo category. We don't know how to change that.
Yeah, we gotta write to Melissa. Okay, so
Maybe we are Diablo.
look at this. Take a look.
Hold on, I want to see where the hell.
Miguel's trying to check where we're at.
Yeah, there's no way to change it here.
Yeah, we'll just tell them. Take a look at this. Okay, so look at this with that, and then I'm gonna delete. Is that better? It's kind of better with it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe now it feels like this is missing. So there's some things about Marvelous, like it doesn't do sharp points well. Um, so part of me wants to snap it up like that, but it's gonna freak out. So I'm just gonna give it space. And I'm very careful not to do a shape like this because it will freak out. So it has issues. Also has issues snapping. And I will find those issues as I try to do this. So that's what I mean. Like it's like sometimes wants to snap and it doesn't. But it will have, shapes like that are very poignant like this. It doesn't like. So I'll be wrestling with that. I think I'm good with my pattern. Or almost good. This is kind of fat looking. And I just want this to start feeling similar. So they're kind of like rays. And then these shapes feel like wings, like feathers. So when I do these shapes, I don't make them up out of my butt. Like I am, but I'm also thinking like things like how I want it to feel. I want a crystal with rays coming out. And then these feel like kind of like wings or something like that. And so it's like a positive image, right? That is like a worship of the red crystal. That's what's going on in my mind. Does it actually like mean that to anyone else? I don't know. Okay, so now I must split this up, and this is the part where we'll find things that break. Okay, so I cut this, cut and sew. I'm going to remirror that because the other side is going to look like a mess. So now that's one piece. So this is broken up in big part for texturing. So that this will, the UVs basically take up the shape. Um, and if these are all separated, they're much easier to UV. This doesn't work for like characters so much because it creates a lot of seams. And that's like a whole other explanation. But texturing the environment is faster and easier because I can do this on the environment, but I just can't do that on the other stuff, like characters. For the characters, we actually use Marvelous to cloth them. And when you have a lot of seams like this, there's a look like there's like gaps between the cloth sometimes, and it looks really bad. And I don't want gaps, so it takes longer to just do stuff. Okay, so let's lay this out like this. And I'm really careful about how these are laid out because my UVs will take on the shape. Um, if I lay it out here well, like what I'm trying to do here, once I go to the UV window, it will look the same. Okay. I also lose all the red lines once it's like this. I'll just delete this side and I'll resew these. And there is like an order to how you cut. You want to cut the bigger pieces first because they can screw up if you don't. Like if I just cut this one line here without cutting this here, it can cause problems. These should all have when I do cut and sew, they should sew them automatically. There was like a time there was a bug where I cut it the whole thing. I didn't realize that they were not sewn. And I was so far in, I had to resew it. And that was not fun because it took up a lot of time. So you can get a lot done in Marvelous pretty quickly and easy as long as you're like really good in your prep. And I think a lot of people just don't want to prep. Okay, let's cut this. Okay, I think we are going to wrap up. But I think I should kind of show you what this is meant to look like.
Yeah, just
So this is meant to layer clone over. Let's do another fabric property. I like to use cotton sateen. It's like very detailed, kind of seems stable, and it's a little crispy.
crispy.
Well, it has like sharper folds. So a lot of the folds will be kind of soft. And let's just tint this so I know what's applied. Okay, so we don't see much yet. Let's just let that sim. And I'm going to make these shapes a little bit bigger. And let's sim. So it starts to give me this puffiness. Okay. And I'll grab these two, I was going to give this air pressure, but let's give this a negative. Let's turn this off. -10, just so you can see what I'm trying to make. Okay, so there's a little bit of air pressure. It shouldn't be doing this. I don't know. I'll figure it out. it's like folding backwards because of the air pressure. But you can see what I'm going for. It's going to look quilted like that, not bend like this. Okay. So that's it. And I'll probably wrap this up maybe, you know, off the stream or during the next week's stream. We'll see. So I work on multiple things. You can see how that just hangs on real nice there. Anyway, and I'll show what I mean about the UVs. So this layout, the UV, you can see how it's trying to mimic this. I do have to shrink these. I have to cut this up. So this doesn't fit. And if I scale everything down, it will be really low res. So you'll see like me cutting this. And, you know, when I do that, it's just so that I can fit them into this like shape without rescaling everything and lowering the resolution. That's it though for now. Miguel,
Mm-hmm.
you want to send us off?
Yes, ma'am. All right, guys.
Well, let's see. Were there some questions? How long did it usually take to fix something that wasn't working on stream? Oh, it's almost a redo sometimes. So I just get it's just like I don't, you know, it's like a problem you just carry around. Might as well just do it right.
Yeah. All right, guys. See you next week.
All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back here next week.
Bye bye.
Bye.